Are we being outpriced? Now, as we quickly are closing out the first full month of January of 2022, housing costs, housing inventory, rising costs for all goods and services seem to be all we hear about. And naturally, I'm asked about the market conditions, the expectations moving forward, and also how to win in today's crazy times. Well, I talk about all of that in today's video, and I'm diving into it now. Welcome everyone, I am Lisa McBride with Sarasota Neighborhood Experts and Keller Williams Realty Select. I post new videos each week about life in Sarasota and all things real estate. If you are new to my channel, thank you so much for joining me. And for my returning viewers, I do greatly appreciate your continued support. Don't forget to subscribe and leave comments below. Now I want to begin by stating that the opinions and thoughts that I'm sharing about the current housing market are based upon lots of research, publications from experts in the field, but also a lot of personal experiences. Now, it's not possible to accurately predict what will happen in 3 months or 12 months, but I will do my best to share with you what I know and how our company works to constantly provide guidance and insights into this crazy time. So the big question everyone asks, are we at the top of the market? Will prices go down? Will there be a crash? And to start with, I'm going to simply say, no, we are not at the top of the market, and here is why. Now, I'm going to be putting a few graphs for you to view here on the screen, and you will see to begin with that our inventory levels continue to be extremely low. In a balanced real estate market, or what we would like to see as a balanced real estate market, usually consists of about 6 months of inventory of homes on the market. Now, in most of my 25 years experience, I would typically see anywhere from 90 to 120 to 180 days of inventory, except during the Great Recession, which is of course very, very different. Now, as you can see here in this graph, we have less than 1 month supply. January 2021, we had approximately 45 to 55 days of inventory. And today we have something like 15 to 21 days of inventory. Housing supply is no different than any other product or good. It's just like not having enough toilet paper. If we do not have enough homes to sell, we cannot sell them. Now, throughout 2021, we went from 50 days of inventory to 15 days and diminishing all of our supply. With low interest rates, people working from home, lockdowns, restrictions, and most importantly, builders no longer being able to keep up with supply due to supply chain issues, labor costs, labor shortage, lumber. Everything has been a perfect storm for us to have very, very low inventory, specifically the builders. And as we all know, with supply and demand, high demand and low supply, of course, raises prices. This next chart will show you how often and how quickly prices are rising here in the Sarasota Manatee counties. Now, the top line of this graph is the average price of listed properties, and you will see how this has climbed. Now, the average list price will typically be higher in the winter months, as this is the time in Florida, more homes are listed, and also a lot more of our resort and beach homes are listed during high season. So of course, this number does rise a little bit more than normal. The second line is the actual average sales price of closed homes. You can see that in December of 2020, our average sold price was $452 for a residential property in Sarasota and Manatee counties. And in December 2021, it was all the way at $556. Now, these two charts between average price and inventory tell us a lot. The next chart that I'm putting up on the screen is a graph which shows us listings, pendings, and closed transactions. Here you can see that since February of 2021, many more homes are sold than listed. Now, until we see more homes listed than pended per month, our inventory levels are not going to climb. We will not see prices level off to a normal appreciation until this starts changing. And I would love to predict when this may happen, but this is where my crystal ball needs to come into play, and unfortunately, I don't own one. So what do we need to do moving forward? What we do know moving forward forward, affordability is going to start decreasing. We know interest rates will rise. I mean, they've already jumped up a bit. And when interest rates rise, everyone that is financing a home is going to start seeing their monthly payment increase a little bit. And between rising interest rates and rising home prices, that will actually decrease the number of buyers and in turn start slowing demand, which in turn will start slowly increasing the number of homes on the market. That will absolutely be a factor and something that we expect to see, but we do not expect to see this just like happen in the next 3 months. Most likely that's not going to happen. It will take much more time to see inventory get to a 90-day supply. And a big reason is builders and builders inventory. Now, prior to COVID, builders, and of course, depending on each builder and subdivision, they could build 8-10 homes a month, and their build time was between 6 and 8 months. And they were ecstatic to have people walking in off the street wanting to buy a home right then. They did not have wait lists or bidding wars on lots or a lottery to get a home. But in today's world, builders are really struggling because they can only release somewhere between 1 and 6 lots per month, and they have a waiting list of anywhere from 10 to 25 people for each one of these lots. So when a contract is signed into place with a builder, it may take 90 days just to get permitting approval today. And then because of the supply chain and labor shortage, the build time has grown from 6 to 8 months to 10 to 15 months. Now, new construction is such a vital part of any city, specifically cities that are growing in the number of residents, such as Sarasota, Bradenton, Lakewood Ranch. And we need new construction to thrive, to simply fill the needs of our growing population. We are in a scenario now that it may take a few years to recover from what's going on. So will prices eventually stop rising by double digits? Yes, but I do not know when. The only way to know you're at the top is when you start going down, and the only way to know when you're way at the bottom is when it starts going back up. Home prices are not likely to flatten or decrease in 2022. So how do you win as a buyer in today's tough market? There are many steps that I discuss with all of my clients when making offers. And first, I need to let you know you do not have to be a cash buyer to win when it comes to bidding wars. It's very, very helpful, and of course, they win often, but 50% of my transactions in 2021 were not cash transactions that we won in multiple offers. It's always my job as a buyer's agent to find out what is going to look like a great offer to a seller. For instance, are they looking for a quick close or perhaps a delayed closing? Are they looking to lease the home back for a little while or stay 1 week after closing? And another question I often ask is, do they want the offer to be written on a standard FAR/BAR contract or on an as-is contract? And these are all things that your agent or myself can discuss with you. Another area that I dive into is the expectations with inspections and repairs. And I think it's crucial to know the age of all the mechanicals of the home, and that's going to help us write a really strong inspection clause. If there are multiple offers, when are all these offers being looked at? I find it very, very helpful when I'm competing to know if I'm competing against 3 people or 14, because there's a huge difference in how to structure the contract depending on this number of offers. Another key element in writing a very strong contract comes down to earnest money and the best financing terms. Someone putting down 40% on a home is going to have a stronger offer than somebody putting down 5%. Some people are waiving financing contingencies if they've been completely through underwriting and are assured that they're going to get the loan. Now, that is not something that I'm recommending, but it's something that we see. It's crucial as an agent to be familiar with everything that can go into a contract, such as an escalation clause, an appraisal gap clause, and much more. So my biggest advice is to be patient, be prepared, and work with an expert. There's a lot of great agents out there, but there's a lot that are not quite as experienced and may not understand all that can go into a very strong contract. Now, if I can be of any help, answer any questions, just give me a call. I love helping people move to the area, and although it may be a little tough right now, please know I'm helping buyers find homes of their dreams and calling Sarasota home. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, take care.